So I'm in the Little River Sanctuary that's part of Eagle Pond Conservation Area that's owned by the Barnstable Land Trust. And I'm sitting right beside Little River. Can you hear the wind? This area is very much a swamp. Listen for the red-winged blackbirds. Tuck, tuck, tuck. You can see the river. That's also red-winged blackbird. Oh no, it's not. It's a spring beaver, I think. But there is a red-winged blackbird over here. I heard the tuck. Nobody's doing conqueree. A lot of trees have fallen into the river here. But just like I made a little video of plants surviving, if we look at these branches, what are they doing? Growing up to the sky. Very, very cool. The red maples are blooming. You can see. And then I am underneath a pussy willow. There's the male catkins up at the top, the fuzzy white. The solitary bees would love that for pollen. They eat the pollen. Little River Sanctuary. And there's the Little River. So this habitat is a thicket. It's thick with blackberry canes. They have those ridges on them. And thickets are the habitat of an endangered mammal, the New England cottontail. So let's look for evidence of cottontail rabbits. Okay, we gotta get down and look along the ground. Can you see it? What's the evidence? Little Cocoa Puffs. That is rabbit droppings. Rabbits drop their poop all over because they can't hold it like you and I. So I call them Pez dispensers. Thickets are important habitat for New England cottontail. And unfortunately, thickets are an endangered habitat for an endangered animal. This is the Little River Sanctuary in Kituit, and I am looking at a thicket. So this tree fell over. Oh, and you think that would be the end of it, right? But when we come and look at the stump, what do we see? We see a branch. The branch took over and said, hey, don't worry about anything, I got this. And it's not the only one. Come over here. We see another tree laying on the ground. And then we see a stump coming up. And all these branches are reaching for the sky. We've got this, they say. Oh, but they're not alone. Look at this stump. So many branches. Now, I think that their cousins around them were helping these guys out, because that stump only has a small section in it. But this is a grove. I'm not quite sure what these trees are here, I'll have to come back. There's some leaves on the ground that look like they might be a big-tooth aspen, but the trunk's a little different. But something happened here, all down this line. The trees blew over, and the branches are growing up to the sky. So there's still life in these old stumps. There's still enough in the ground to give the branches energy to reach for the sky. Super cool. So I've discovered a very, very important plant to people who live in Massachusetts. It grows right on the floor of the forest. And I think there's flowers. Can you see them? Here's the flowers. This is the state flower of Massachusetts. There's more down here. Boy, I gotta get down here and smell it. Oh, it smells so sweet. Sorry about the blur. Women during the reign of Queen Victoria, they would wear these plants and their flowers pinned to their blouses. And if they passed by someone who hadn't taken a bath in a while, they would just smell the flowers. It was called a nosegay. I guess because it made your nose gay to have a good smell. This is a little shrub. Oh, more flowers over there. It's called trailing, arbutus, or the Mayflower. And schoolboys and girls in Massachusetts, they're the ones who declared this the state flower. There was a competition between the white water lily, Nymphaea odorata, and the Mayflower, Epigea repens. And the Mayflower won. Boys and girls decided, they voted. This was in the early 1900s. So ever since then, trailing arbutus or Mayflower has been the state flower of Massachusetts. You know, Wetland, there's a lot of plants that don't mind getting their roots wet. And one of them is this bush, the sweet pepper bush. And it can grow quite tall. I'm 5'2", and it's above my head. Sweet pepper bush has little fruits that are like peppercorns. And then look who's beside it. A pussy willow. And it got broken, but this branch is still alive. Look here. Oh, we can see the pollen. That's what happens if you put pussy willows in the water. They go to Funky Town. They keep blooming. So this is the male catkin with all that pollen on it. I don't see anybody collecting it. The green stem behind it is a blueberry. Over here, that moss is sphagnum moss. And behind it, that little evergreen, that is inkberry holly. It's never ever anything but green. And then this one is super cool. This tall, tall, tall one. I can see where the honeysuckle-like flowers were there. I'm not talking about the pine tree. It's this shrub. This is called swamp azalea. And because its flowers are so sticky, it's also called clammy azalea. And the tree behind it, with its branches coming doink right out of the trunk, is a tupelo. All of these don't mind to have their roots in the water or in wet soil. Evidently, not even that American holly or the pitch pine. And actually, this pitch pine here too. Follow that down with its chunky bark. And a red maple. We can see its flowers there. Pretty soon they'll be all on the ground like a red carpet. More swamp azalea. See what else there is here. Red-winged blackbird. More sweet pepper. And inkberry holly. You can see the peppercorns. A young tupelo. And that willow behind it, that pussy willow. Here's a big mommy tupelo. Very, very cool. First tree to turn in the fall. Beautiful red colors. And a yummo high bush blueberry with its green tops. Sometimes the new growth is red. Very cool, this swamp. Very cool. This branch blew down, this whole trunk. But look at those babies. We're taking over. Look at us, we're reaching for the sky. And this looks like it might be an oak, maybe. The parent bark is so covered up with this moss. Little River Sanctuary, get to it.